Hey everyone, it's Jayson, and we just got off the Celebrity Equinox. And these are going to be 7 things that we saw that were different and learned from our previous cruise on the Reflection. And if you stick around to the end, I'm going to answer, are these still on your pillows every night? So number 1, contrary to what some of the executives have come out and said, at Celebrity, we did not have lobster on the main dining room menu. So we were in an Aqua Spa cabin, so we ate at the Blue every night, and it was not on that menu, and it was not on the main dining room menu. So that was not on there. And they have come out and said that they were not getting rid of Lobster Night, and we just didn't see it on the 6-night cruise. I've looked at some of the future cruises on 6 nights, and I don't see it there also. So their threshold must be a 6 and a 7-night cruise, which is kind of disappointing because price-wise for us was very similar in price for the cruise. So just keep that in mind. If you're on a 6-night cruise sailing on the Celebrity Equinox Western Caribbean, you will not see, unless they make some changes, you will not see lobster tail on the Chic night. So number 2 was the addition of surf and turf on the main dining room menu. That was a surcharge of $34.99. And then you had the tip that went with that, making it $42. So $42, you're looking at that going, okay, not that much more. You can eat at a specialty dining restaurant. Now, for us, I had some shipboard credit that we had to use up, and it was non-transferable. I would have lost it. So I decided to get it 2 nights. And I have to tell you, each one of the nights, it tasted amazing, but it was very small. The filet, I would say, was 6 ounces or less, and you might got 3 or 4 bites out of the lobster tail. It just was very little food for the price that they wanted to charge. So that was a little disappointing. I think, I know other cruise lines do this. I know they have it, but they're, 1, much cheaper, and 2, they're a lot more food for the price. So I think that's something that Celebrity needs to look at. If you're going to charge $42 for a surf and turf additional charge, you need to make sure that you're bringing out a meal that is more $42 worth, especially since you're not in that specialty dining room. You're not having any of those other plates. So that should be all profit for you. And in addition, you were already paid for the Blue dining room that night. So that was a little disappointing, and unfortunately, more portion size than the taste quality. So number 3, and this doesn't take away from the food quality, but we did feel the portion sizes were much smaller. So one thing that we're going to have to adjust in the future, and we've never done this before, is just ask. Like, for example, the lamb chop salad. How many lamb chops come on this? There's only 2. Well, can there any way I can get 4 lamb chops? That's just something that I think we're going to have to ask, or maybe you'll have to ask also in the future, some more questions around your dining. In the past, I'd be like, hey, just give me this, right? And it usually come out and it was a big portion and you were full. That's not so much the case anymore. And that was our experience. Now, you may be a light eater, and that's great for you, but that's the way we're going to change. I know that that's been a hot topic of discussion on many boards, many YouTube channels, is the portion sizes. And we did recognize it and see it on our cruise. And the only thing that we're going to just do is just make some changes on how we order our food. So number 4, and this is an Aqua Spa item, and this is another thing that executives have said you can absolutely request, and we requested this and we didn't get it, is canapes. So we requested it, and I just wanted to see if we could get them because I had heard that you could, and we were told they weren't available. I asked 4 other people if they had gotten them. Now, they did not request them, but they did not get them. So I'm not so sure that the information has rolled down to the ship. Also, I'm not 100% sure if this isn't another test item. So now what I mean by that is the Celebrity Equinox has kind of been known as their ship they've been testing things on. I'm not a big fan of that. I let them know that in my comments to them. I don't think it should just be on the Celebrity Equinox. I think they should rotate that through other cruise ships, through their fleet, to see if things work and don't work. But that was just my feedback from them to them. And so we did not have the ability to get canopies in an Aqua Spa cabin, even though that there's some that say you can get them. So a lot of conflicting information there. So number 5, and this one goes back to the Equinox being a test ship for Celebrity, was they did test vaping in the casino. I can say for 100% certainty that that test is over, and I didn't get the indication in talking to some of the casino staff that that was coming back. I actually did see 2 times that people were trying to vape, and they actually asked them to leave. So that's just a little update on vaping in the casinos. I don't think that that test went over very well, and I think the passengers really gave some feedback to Celebrity that that was something that they did not want to see change in the casinos on or anywhere on Celebrity ships inside vaping. So before I get to number 6, I would ask that you please like this video. It does help the channel grow. Also, consider subscribing as I do daily cruise news shorts and daily cruise tips and tricks. I also do longer videos every Saturday and Sunday at 8 a.m. Thanks so much. So number 6 is we were in an Aqua Spa cabin, as I mentioned before, and we had to request our sparkling wine. We've never had to do that in the past, and I didn't know if this was part of one of the changes. So if you get to your cabin, you have an Aqua Spa cabin, you don't see your sparkling wine, make sure to request that ASAP. We did. It took almost 2 days. It was the end of day 2 to get our sparkling wine. Now I asked 2 other people. One said they had to request it. Another said it did get delivered later on day 1. So I'm not sure if that's another one of their changes, but if you have an Aqua Spa cabin and you don't see your sparkling wine, just make sure, if you want it, make sure to request it as soon as you see your stateroom attendant. So number 7 are these chocolates going away that they put on your pillows each night in the Aqua Spa cabins. I can tell you for us is that day 1 we did not have them, but every other day we did. Now we've heard from executive teams and some of the letters that have come out that they're supposed to be there the first and last nights. It's a very interesting thing. I just don't think the information is rolled out to the ships quite yet on a lot of these things that we talked about. I will say this, if you're listening, Celebrity, I'd rather not have these, and I'd rather have lobster in the main dining room on a 6-night cruise. So a bonus tip, and I wanted to let you guys know, the chocolate chip cookies in Cafe Al Bacio are included. They are no longer paying at the gelato area. Those have gone, they've disappeared. And I talk more about it, and I'll link that video in the description. So just so you confirm, there is free chocolate chip cookies in Cafe Al Bacio. So I appreciate you guys watching. I wanted to let you know that we had an amazing time on the Celebrity Equinox. It's our favorite cruise line, and I just wanted to bring up some of these topics because they are hot topics on message boards and other YouTube channels, and I wanted to bring some clarity to some of the things. We had some of the most awesome passengers, people that we met on this cruise from Utah to Illinois to Florida. Also, the crew was so amazing. So if you're going to be on the Celebrity Equinox anytime soon, you're going to have a great time. I do appreciate you guys watching. Until I talk to you next time, happy cruising.